you hear the voice of your very own Iberry.
Hello, Berry.
Hello.
Iberry is back.
Are you serious?
Tune in the radio. Iberry is back.
Tune in that radio.
Iberry Anata.
Tune in that radio.
Welcome to another amazing Wednesday. Hey, it's pretty hot out there, and tell you what, I am burning like on a FIRE. Hey, what's up with you? How has your week been? I hope you've been having a great time listening to radio, enjoying great music, and also, doing what other things that you have to do out there. Welcome again to Sabi You're Right on Heritage FM 88.7. And this is E to the Berry. Yes, the only electronic berry on radio. We're back again for another exciting time where we'll be discussing something very important. Today, Thursday, the 22nd of September, 2022. And studio time check is 1:40 p.m. Just to let you know that Whispers, Sabi You're Right is brought to you by Whisper to Humanity. You can check us out on all our social media handles to be part of what we're doing and to know that this program is actually streaming live on Facebook. You can catch us on Whisper to Humanity. On Instagram is at Whisper Quality. And you can also email in case you want whispers at whispertohumanity.com. Again, whisper at whispertohumanity.com. All right, catch us on all social media platform. Plus, you can just jump on YouTube, check out Whisper to Humanity. It's showing live on our social media handle. Okay, today we're discussing something very important, and I'm not here alone. I'm here with two gentlemen, and they will be delving into our discourse. Tomorrow, 23rd of September, nationwide, international wide, worldwide, global wide, is known as the International Sign Language Day, International Sign Language, or International Day for Sign Language. And today we'll be looking at freedom of expression for the deaf and dumb. I'm talking about physically challenged people. And guess what? If you want to see what's happening in studio life, better hit our social media handle and join us, because somebody is busy doing sign that I don't understand, even one, even smiling. I don't understand one, God knows. But they'll be talking to us today. I'm talking about none other than the chairman, Imo State Association for Sign Language Interpreters, talking about Neji's success. You are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, I also have with me the member for Sign Language Interpreter, Imo State Chapter. He is Izwogu Nelson. Nelson, you're welcome to the studios.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, you guys teach me how to say thank you. How do I say thank you?
Thank you.
Oh, really? That's a big kiss, man. So let me tell everybody, Isha, thank you. Thank you, Nelson. This is amazing. All right, so we'll be looking at the freedom of expression for these guys. They're special, they're unique, they're amazing, and we cannot help but say that they are very, very, very vital in our society, to be honest with you. So you can look at the globe and not push certain people out and say, no, these are not human beings, or these are not people that should be, or they don't follow. Let me use pidgin English and express what's in my heart. They don't follow. But these are very, very special brothers and sisters we have in our midst, and we cannot do without them. And so we've decided to give them a place right here on Whispers. And I tell you, that's what Whispers is all about, giving everybody equal opportunity to express themselves. And this is why these guys are here today to talk about their freedom of expression. In a jiffy, we'll be delving into the discourse and talking to them. So we'll just quickly take a listen to this, and when we're back, we will ride along. Don't go anywhere. Talking about Neji's success and Izwogu Nelson, you are both welcome to the studio. International Day of Sign Languages is celebrated annually across the world. Like I said earlier, on the 23rd. Today is the 22nd, right? But it'll be celebrated tomorrow. But because we care so much about these amazing people, we decided to, bring them on air today to talk about something that concerns them. So it's celebrated every 23rd September every year, along with the International Week of the Deaf. All right. And I wouldn't want to go into all the history, about that. But I understand, Mr. Success,
Okay.
I understand that there. When I was starting this program, right, I realized that there is even pidgin in sign language. Like there are different sign languages, and
Yes.
and they're peculiar to different countries, different communities, and they said there's the part that is like pidgin. Is that true?
You're right. You're right. We have different countries have their own. Even
Wow,
here, we have Nigerian Sign Language.
wow.
We have American Sign Language. We also have Indonesia. Different languages to say. South Africa Sign Language. Just as language differs, but to a point, all will still come together. When you talk about English, just like English,
Mm.
there will be a point when all the language or the sign language will come together and we understand ourselves.
That's amazing. Do you have like slang? When we talk, we say sapa, some of those evolving slangs. Do you have like
Sure, sure. It's just like a normal language. There are slangs of styles, signs that people in Imo State use that is different from that of other states
are you for
that
real?
they use to understand themselves.
Wow.
Just as a deaf is familiar with an interpreter in a state,
Okay.
if you go to other states, they will not be comfortable with that person there. So they have their slangs or slogans to say.
Mm. Okay. Beautiful. How? Let me just ask. How did you take interest in this? How did you become a sign language instructor to the point of being the chairman of your state
Well,
association? It must be a passion. It must be a flair or something. Please, I want to get the background story.
right, thank you for that. A sign language is just like those days in school when you do short, what is it called?
Shorthand.
Shorthand.
Yes.
And if you leave shorthand for a day, it will leave you for 1 week or 1 month.
There are a lot of things that will leave you, like
Yes.
learning computer, learning the keyboard, and all of
Sure.
that. Amazing.
The same thing goes with days, especially when you are learning the language at the initial stage.
Mm.
It will make you look like a mad person because whatever you see on the road,
Wow.
you will try to finger spell
Wow.
or sign it
Wow.
so that you still retain the signs. So on the part of me, I have passion for the disabled. There is no deaf in my family. No, I don't have any relative as a deaf to say. But I notice that those people are left behind.
Mm.
They are not being carried along in some things. That was one of the things that moved me to start studying the language.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Success. Let me get to you, Mr. Victor Nelson, rather. What about you? Is it a passion for you? How did you get into this? Because I know you can speak, you can hear, you can also sign. What is it for you? What's the background story?
Okay, my own started. My cousin is deaf and dumb, so most times when we travel to the village and he'll sit, all alone, So sometimes if we want to communicate with him, we have to bring exercise book, 80 leaves, and start writing. We keep
Wow.
writing. Sometimes he'll be writing on the ground. So and sometimes when you are not in the mood of communicating with him, we just leave him behind and be playing. So he'll be watching us. So at a point I was like, there'll be a need for me to learn this thing and communicate with him because he's left behind. So when I got admission in Imo State University, so I located a friend of mine who's a sign language interpreter. I went to the church. So when he was there, so I picked interest. I later asked him that I need to learn this language. He said, okay, no problem. That it's going to cost me a lot. I said, no, whatever it is. And I had that. He said, it's very hard to learn. I told him I must learn this thing. I'm doing all this thing because of my cousin.
Wow.
So the guy started coming to my house. I was giving him some tips and all that. So he started with the ABC and all that before going. So the guy that was teaching me got admission in University of Calabar and left me, and I started looking for the school, and somebody directed me they have their school at
Where
Olo.
they are. Mm.
So I went to the Olo. I met their principal, and it happens to be we happens to be in the same we came from the same kindred. So the man picked interest and gave me materials and all that, and I kept.
So you actually took the materials home and started learning.
Yes, I started learning. Even in the
Interesting.
midnight, I'll wake up, I'll be signing, and my brother will wake up, I'll be laughing at me. I keep.
Which of
doing
your
it.
brother? Your
My elder
your-
brother.
Okay,
did
okay.
that.
I thought it was
So
your-
he kept they kept laughing at me, and most times I go back to the school, and they kept sometimes I will sit in the class with the deaf, only me be hearing. So even at a point they thought that I was deaf and dumb and all that. So I kept coming and all that. So I finally met my cousin that lives in Owerri. So he
Yes.
started introducing me to other deaf. I started attending their end of the year meetings.
And that was how
all that.
you learned and
yeah.
okay, and now you are very, very interesting, impressive.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Neji, I would like to ask you, right? As a teacher, as an instructor, you heavily interact with these people a lot. You see them; they are all around you, and all of that. How difficult is it for them to express themselves?
In the disabled world, we have different clusters of disabilities. We have the deaf, the blind, and the physical challenged. Though we have the albinos, the hard head hearing, and other ones there. But generally, they are being classified in three. When I was at Oyo Special SPED, when I was lecturing there, it wasn't really easy. Once you fail to carry them along, it will bring a problem. Now, those people, like I said before, they feel cheated always.
Wow.
They always love to be around someone who understands them, who will carry their needs. They feel free to communicate with you. In terms of expression, if you see a deaf staying in midst of people that are not signers, that don't understand their language, they'll feel so depressed
Wow.
because they cannot express themselves.
True.
So it's really a problem.
True, because most of them feel rejected, and in a society whereby it's only few people that could sign their language. So most times they want to share their pains, they want to share their joy, but since nobody is, maybe people around them that can't understand that, so they feel this dejected and abandoned and all that. There was a time I heard a rumor. I had to travel to deaf and dumb school to actually know whether it's true. So when I got there, they were telling me that some female in that school were raped, by some guys, because their school is located in one community. So, but nobody they could, they just harbored it in themselves.
Wow.
So I started asking questions. So they open up and know that some guys normally comes there to, rape the female one. So I had to take it up. There's something I did on in social media about sex education that parents should get close to their female ones, especially those that have deaf and dumb children. They should just learn basic sign language so they could be able to understand with them. So most of them they feel cheated when in a situation whereby the people around them can't communicate, so they'll be left behind and all that.
So if a family now, if you now have someone who's deaf or dumb or have any of these physical challenges, how do we now boost their confidence? Because one way or the other, they also need to understand that, this is the way, this is what it is now. You have to come to that reality that this is what it is. And, amidst the challenges, whether it is what it is or not, I still need to succeed. I still need to be who I am meant to be. I still need to do that which I'm meant to do, because I believe that no man is a mistake on earth. That's one heavy belief that I have.
You're right.
No man is a mistake. That your leg touched, that you came out amongst all the eggs.
Sure.
That means there's something for
Special
you.
about
Yes,
it.
there's something for you. So how do you now? What do you do to boost their confidence? I'm asking you this to give me practical examples of what you do so that people listening, especially people, parents who have them, can also do that to boost their confidence? Because a lot of people say, oh, once you meet a deaf or a dumb person, they're angry people. So how can we now work with them, boost their confidence, make them feel accepted in the society, help them express themselves?
Right. Thank you for that.
Yes, Mr. Success.
The truth of the matter is, just as you said, the difference between able and disabled is just little gap.
Tell me about it.
Most deafs were not born deaf. So now parents need to accept this, the reality of life, because once we cannot change anything, we need to accept it. Once parents they accept, not only parents, also siblings, blood relatives around need to know that yes, this is something that we cannot change. We need to accept it. And the devs to say they are very good people to stay with. They are very good people. You enjoy them, their company, once you understand them. They only feel cheated when you don't carry them along. If you carry them along, you will enjoy the death. Now, enjoying them needs that the society in large need to welcome these people. We should not see them as this. Deafness is not a cause.
Wow.
It's not a cause, because we have most families that have deaf person. The deafs are carrying the responsibility of the family.
Interesting.
I have the JONAP, Joint Association of Imo State Disabled. The deaf person there, the vice, he is the one taking care of the family. So once you give them that basic needs requirement, that is the education, they will do better. So the society, the family, friends, we should not reject these people. They are normal beings like all of us. So once we accept them, it will help them to accept and also work with us. We will enjoy them. Let us not reject them. Parents, governments, families should make this language. I think the only problem there we have is language barrier. So if all of us here, even in the studio, can sign, use our hand to sign, if a deaf person comes in here, people will not even know. Just like if I'm discussing with my friend Nelson, people will see us as if we are deaf. We can decide to use hand to talk. It's still the same thing. So please, we appeal to Imo State to say, to accept them. And also, okay, maybe next one will take care of the one I want to talk now.
Okay. Nelson, please, let's hear your take on this one.
Well, as my chairman has said, family should, as I said earlier, family should try and learn the basic, my cousin is deaf and dumb, and
Yes.
he married a normal person.
Are you for real?
Yes, they're married. So it's not actually a sign language, as in sign language has its own profession, when a sign language interpreter, but there is a special way they do communicate as husband and wife, they can understand. So if a family or, that has a deaf, in the family should learn, a way of communicating with them, or him or her can have a special way they are communicating, it will go a long way so that they will not feel, rejected in the society.
Okay, you've been listening to Sabi, you're right, on Heritage 88.7 FM, and we're talking freedom of expression for the physically challenged, talking about deaf and saying that tomorrow will be the International Day for Sign Language. And would like you to be part of the show. would like you to call in and share with us. Probably you have somebody around you, and probably you've been looking for, where you can learn sign language, or maybe you have a deaf person. You want to ask one or two questions. How do I handle this? How do I handle that? I've tried this. I've tried that. It's not working. Whispers is giving you the opportunity to ask your questions and get answers. Well, the number to call is 0811 288 7887. Again, 0811 288 7887. You can call and be part of the show, or you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to 081 540 14746. Again, 081 540 14786, and we can interact right here on the show. I'm expecting your calls whilst we go ahead with the show. I'd like to ask Mr. Nelson. Yeah, we know about the signs, using your hands to communicate with these special people, right? And we are in the 21st century. Somebody say we have moved from 21st, we're in the 20. The world is evolving, yeah? Things are changing. Technology is getting more techer, if you see what I mean. How are you improving? Is that world also improving for them? Are there, improvement in technologies, in way of communication, way of training, learning, and all of that? I know some of them also get to learn extracurricular activities like, learn skills with their hands and all. So let's talk technology right now. Are there technologies you're using? Is the change of things also affecting you negatively or positively? Let's hear Mr. Nelson. Okay, maybe before you take that call, let me just take a call here and I'll get back to you before you take that. Hello?
Of course, they have a rule for them, and I think they have their own app. That app helps you to update you current, so that when you are signing, the deaf community can understand what you are saying. It helps them a lot. Even technology, they can do video calls. The deaf can do videos, and in terms of technology, it has helped them.
Okay, so let's Chairman, yeah, go ahead, please.
Right, still on that, just like my brother rightly pointed out, sign language keeps improving, just like ordinary language keep improving, because we have some words like before coronavirus. There is nothing like coronavirus in sign language.
Sure.
Now, when coronavirus came up, the world interpreters have to meet time and again in order to get a sign for it. Even the Vaseline we are using, we from Johnson Johnson to so many of them, we have to come together to agree on a general sign. Just as is part of the technology. After that, it will move to the air. People that were not part of the committee will now see it and then learn the language or the sign. That is how it goes. And also, technology goes with phones. The deafs can do virtual everything. A deaf can work here in a studio here, can manage most of these apps here. A deaf can do roughly what speaking people, because we don't use them as abnormal. They are all normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we are just the same. It's only that we open our mouth and talk. They use their hand to talk. It's also part of it. So the technology advancement is affecting them. We improve with technology. We go ahead. As technology improves, that is how we, the sign language interpreters and also the deafs, improves our skills.
Interesting. I'm sure learning a lot, before now, I'm like, it's not like I have anyone around me, but I've met, and I feel totally useless around them because I don't know. I'm trying to, talk, and they're just looking at you, trying to read your lips to understand what you're saying and all. So anytime I see the guy, very handsome young guy, I just wave at him. Hello. Because I can't, and he's asking me, how's yours? He's trying to communicate with me. How's your son? How's your son? I said, okay, Bobo, see Bobo, fine, fine. I want to, I don't want him to feel bad, or feel, in some certain way. So I just move. I move like I didn't move. Oh, bye bye, hello, how now, bye, and all of that. So, but this is right, helping me right now to understand that, I can do more, and be more to them or for him. So I think you already answered a bit of the next question I wanted to ask. Yeah, the question is, these guys want to be part of the society, work in organizations, work in companies, work in. What is your team? When I say your team, I mean the association doing to see that maybe in every office, maybe in parastatals, maybe in companies, maybe even private companies, you reach out to the head or the admin to say, okay, if you can create a space for these certain people, because these guys, most of them are the most skilled. To be honest with you, if you reach out to them, these people are very skilled, they are very gifted, and they are very reliable as well. So is there any plan to reach out to companies, reach out to government, reach out to other bodies to just carve out a circle for them, something they can do? They can get up in the morning and say, I'm going to the office, and make money as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, currently, there is a movement. Last month I was watching YouTube, and the National of Deaf Association, I think their president, was kind of, lamenting that the deaf has been left behind. They have been left behind. That there's a need to carry them along. So after that, the House now signed a bill that each government establishment should have a sign language interpreters in the courts, in airports, because
okay. Hold your thoughts there. Let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, Victor calling from Owerri. What part of Owerri, Victor? World Bank. Okay, please go ahead with your thoughts or question.
I want the people who are with the special or the you feel somehow or feel that or feel the in the society. Now look at another thing I want to add. The other thing I want to add is that if these people can work close to the government and have a sign language interpreter, so that anytime they have any issue of any case, so that the police officers or the military or the security will be able to understand these people. Because until today, so many of people living in society are not understand both the hearing and the visual and other people. They feel like we are different. We are not different. We are different people with different. So we can work together. If these people can have a little mind of using this government in authority and tell them to know us in everything, so that anytime we are looking for anything like job or anything, if they have come, I would like you to tell them or interact with them and tell them on how to work with the government so that they can be able to recognize us in everything.
You said so that they can recognize you. Tell me, are you? Do you have a challenge?
No, he said to recognize them.
Okay, you're visually impaired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Especially education department.
Oh, wow. Mr. Victor, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate the fact that you called in. All right, keep listening to the show. Yes, please. Okay, amazing. He said he has a challenge with his sight, right? And he's in the university. So we're also saying the same thing. What do you have to say about what he said? Let me answer your question for you.
Okay.
He's making an appeal, right?
Yes.
Of a collaboration or some sort of, talks with the government.
Yes, just as my brother rightly said, last 2 years, there was a memo from Mr. Lai Mohammed, the Minister for Communication, mandating all television stations to employ an interpreter or interpreters. After signing that, I think different chapters of sign language interpreters in Nigeria moved into action. But unfortunately for us here in Imo State, all efforts proved abortive. We wrote to NTA, we wrote to IBC, which
So
other
you've written to different
stations about it. Now they said that they have a challenge themselves. That is their camera. They promise that they will do something about it. But the truth of the matter is, they are not disabled friendly. If you don't have passion for the disabled, when I mean disabled now, I'm not concentrating on the deafs only. Both the visual impaired and then the physical challenged. If you have love for them, I think we even if there is nothing, you improvise. So we've done our part, still begging the government to a point that we wrote to government house, to the governor, through the SSG, the SA on disabled matters, because we have SA and SSA here. The governor appoint two disabled. Okay. One as XA, the other one as XSA.
Okay.
So with their promise, they say they are working towards it. Because the devs, most of these programs that the government carries around, the speech of the governor, only 2 or 3 times I've interpreted for the governor's speech. Apart from that, they stopped it. So, but they feel being carried. Whenever the governor is talking, an interpreter should be there. Just like in Anambra State and other states too. In Anambra now, they have theirs. Whenever the governor is talking.
And the amazing thing is that these guys are watching, they want to
watch television.
That's part of it.
And not only writing, or sometimes they will tell you that they are writing on the screen.
Wow.
But not some of them are deaf and also have what we call a vision problem. They are suffering from some myopic and hypermetropic, to say, short-sightedness and long.
Yes.
So they can't get closer to, but if it's hand, they can easily see it clear. So that is why stations needs to come in and do the needful.
Okay, please do keep your calls coming in on the show. It's still Sabi, you're right. And today we're looking at very special needs for very special people. And we know that they are important to us, important to our community, our society, important to our families. And we want to make sure that they are carried along in every way possible. And of course, I've been speaking with Mr. Nechi Success, who is the chairman in Imo State Association for Sign Language Interpreters, and Izogu Nelson, he's a member. You guys are the ones that communicate with these people firsthand, right? I was talking about having opportunities for them in other walks of life, other aspects of life. We can say, okay, this one sews. This one has, she can braid hair. This one can be this one can be that. But is it possible that one can be an admin in an office? Is it possible that one can be, an assistant to the admin? Is it possible that, I'm talking office work, I'm talking professional in other areas now?
Yes.
So if it's possible, what's stopping it? Mr. Nelson, let's hear it.
Okay, yes. For example, I do mention of this, my cousin. He was in Imo State State Secretariat. That's where, that's where he's working. I think he's the admin there.
Okay.
He works there. The last time I went there, the boss was congratulating him. Even telling me that he's doing better. He's hardworking, and.
Wow.
And when you come to that, he doesn't have time for anyone. He concentrates on his own, unlike people that does, they just gossip and all that. But he doesn't have time for anyone. He concentrates on his work until he finishes it. He will be the last person to leave the office. So if I know of them, many of them that are graduates that they are not being employed. So these people are able and capable. If they employ them, they can deliver.
Okay, you want to say something, Mr. Nick?
Yes, like he said, we have many of them that are graduates. In fact, we have a PhD holder that is a deaf. She, her first degree, second degree, and third degree, she's a deaf. And she was the vice principal of Orodo Secondary School.
Mm.
And not only her, we have also, they have learned to say, the problem we are having here is discrimination. Once that discrimination is out, give them the opportunity, they will deliver. It's not a matter of they cannot talk. They can write.
Mm.
Assuming it's an administrative work,
Mm.
they can write. And then, if the government can also do the needful, each establishment is supposed to have an interpreter that is assigned to, just like FMC, other places, higher establishments
Mm.
that will help to run smooth or run things the way it should be. So we still appeal, if these people can be given the opportunity, trust and believe me, they will deliver, because we have tested them in different areas.
Then again, how do we fight discrimination against physically challenged people?
And fighting discrimination against physical challenged people is, if you see them and start pitying them, that's
What?
another thing. If you start having pity on them,
How do you mean, please? Because
Okay.
some of us are very soft-hearted. You know, yeah, I can see you like the next thing that'll come out of my mouth is, hey, yeah. And I may not know. Please,
Good.
please.
And once that word "a yeah" comes in, if it's something that you, let's say, to carry this, you start having that self pity on them,
Mm.
you will not assign that duty to them.
Okay, please hold on. Let's take this call. Hello?
Good afternoon, Martin.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ebenezer, a native of Amankotambia, from Norway.
Okay, Benny, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, please.
I've been listening with keen interest. Yes, concerning the Honorable, when I was in Holy Ghost College, we had them as our classmates, I mean, that of the blind one, people, the blind students, and we carry them along. Honestly, we play with them, we don't discriminate, we even play work with them. You can even take how they play work. They are highly sensitive, honestly. They follow us. So we don't try them, we follow them along, we play with them. Even we are saying, we had one at the deaf and dumb as a neighbor. We play with them, we stand. So please, let us carry them along. They are fellow human beings. There are a lot of sign language. That is how we communicate. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your call. Please keep your calls coming. I can take them now. If you are calling right now, Vesta will get back to our discussion. If you have any physically challenged person around you and it's been challenging for you, you know, it's like a growing child. You want to help the child, you want to teach the child, you want to, you know, and probably the child is proving stubborn in areas, and you're like, I'm handicapped here. I don't even know how to answer or what to do to this child. These are, you know, experts in the studios. You can reach out right now, ask your question, and they will answer you. All right. So we're talking discrimination. How can we at least reduce, if not stop? Because they say a lot of times you can't just stop a thing at once. You can't eradicate it. It takes there are processes to it. So how can we reduce this discrimination in a society?
Right? Reducing the discrimination has to start from the mind. Once we accept them to have equal rights with us, it will help us to reduce it. Then assigning duties to them,
Okay.
giving them work to do. Don't pity. If they can't do it, they will tell you that they cannot. But not you deciding on your own because they are physical challenged, they are disabled. You now think that, oh, this person cannot do this. Allow them, they know the way to do it and they will deliver.
Okay, Nelson, you said you've worked with you know, some physically challenged persons who had issues of rape and all of that. You know, the case as it is already, I don't want to say worse, but it's already very interesting. So, for example, I'm physically challenged and I'm going through emotional issues aside just the impediment, just aside you know, the challenge I have, maybe rape, maybe harassment, maybe. Can this case be reported to you guys? How do you speak to these people to open up? In 1 minute, sir, please can you tell me how do I go about helping them open up, to authorities that can help them?
Unlike what my chairman has said, it is very important that government should provide a sign language interpreter in each government instance. It will go a long way because in a situation whereby they rape a deaf and he or she doesn't know who to complain to. But if we have this sign language interpreter and each government establishment, they'll know who and who to report to. And once they get a sign language interpreter, there will understand and not table the matter.
Okay, but I'll just like to say this is Whisper to Humanity, and we care about a lot of people. So if there's such challenge, we'd like to know. We'd like to know. We'd like to delve into it. We'd like to see that these guys are happy. That's what we're all about. We're trying to give everybody equal opportunity to express themselves and be who they've been designed to be. Right. So if you're out there, you're listening, and you have any of these challenges, somebody's oppressing you, particularly oppression, don't fail to reach out to us. You can hit our email at whisper-to-humanity.com. whisper@whisper-to-humanity.com. Reach out to us, let us know who is trying to disturb your life, and we will take it up from there. Of course, don't forget that we have other associations on board. We have lawyers attached to Whisper to Humanity. We can really fight for your cause. All right, Mr. Naji Success, Chairman, thank you so much for answering us. We hope the next time we reach out to you, you will avail us the opportunity of hearing your sweet voice on radio.
Sure, I will. Please let me use this opportunity to tell the public that
in 3 seconds
they should feel free. Once they have a deaf person, don't condemn that person.
Okay.
They are still useful, and we are there. We are here in Imo State to stand and speak for them.
Beautiful. Mr. Nelson, in 1 second.
Okay. We the sign language interpreters, association, we are here for them, whatever case may be. We are there to fight for them, protect their rights.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We will do this again next time, next week. Until then, you have yourself a beautiful face.
Big energy. When I come through, big energy. Dark shades on, no they see enemy. I bet that you heard of me. I know they form gangster, only big energy. When I come through, big energy. Dark shades on, no they see